Welcome to Bob versus Willie, the show that pretty much pits Bob Gersztyn against me, Willie Witten. That's what we're doing here. It's the same show, but a different topic. Today's topic, Bob, is the top 5 Led Zeppelin albums. Do you want to start or do you want me to start?
You go ahead and start.
I'll start. Number 5 for me, Houses of the Holy. The reason I like it, and I know it's not going to be a lot of people's pick, but I think you got a couple songs on there. It's concise. It's very varied. Over the Hills, Far Away, the Rain song, No Quarter. A lot of range in this short album. I think it's indispensable. Bob, what about you?
Well, the album's good because of the fact that The Song Remains the Same comes off of it, which the movie was based on. So for that reason, I think the album is important. But I wouldn't, I would rate it a little bit higher than that. For me, number 5 is Led Zeppelin Three. Now, I love the Immigration song, and I liked Bonham's driving drums, especially on the gallows pole. And this music itself is so representative of the times because it was that psychedelic era where, everybody was dropping acid. There was more acid flowing than there was marijuana. You could buy acid anywhere, but you couldn't find marijuana back in 1969, back in Detroit anyway. But the thing is, that song was pretty much a turning point in their career. And you want me to do number 4?
I don't see why not. As long as you're at it, I'll let you make 2 bad decisions in a row. Go ahead.
Physical Graffiti is number 4, which was their 6th album in 1975. Well, it was a double album, so there was a lot there. There was really a lot. The thing that I really like about it is the fact that the religious right were starting to condemn it. Now, at the time, I was a minister, and I had a youth group in my church, and some of the kids in my group loved Led Zeppelin. But at the same time, you had to address some of these questions that they had. And Houses of the Holy was one of the first songs that they actually addressed it. And they talk about Satan in it. And, that was kind of a marketing tool for them, because now people were even more interested in their album because of the occult.
Okay, I get it. So there's some personal things there. I think those are both decent picks. Once again, it's Zepp, so it's going to be hard to pick a bad one. I'm at least assuming you're not going to go in through the outdoor on number 1 on me. Number 3, that's fine. Physical Graffiti, Bob, the only complaint is I think it's uneven as a double album, but that's okay. My number 4, the BBC Sessions. The reason why is I like that middle ground between live and studio. Session work like that gives them a chance to do some different things. I think it's some of their best covers. Traveling Riverside Blues, it's the best version of Thank You. My number 3 album of theirs would be Zepp 2. Zepp 2, I feel, is the album that sounds most like Zeppelin. What do you got, Bob, for 3?
Well, for 3, I actually have Zepp 2. So your choice. The reason I enjoy that album, my girlfriend bought it for me for Christmas. And when she bought it for me, we were over at a friend's house and we put it on and we're playing it. And the friend was, a girlfriend, and she was interested in what the song was about. And I said, well, I think it's about sex. And she said, well, why do you say that? And I said, well, you're saying I'm going to give you every inch of my love. And she blushed and got embarrassed, and we didn't talk about it anymore. But the thing is, it's like, it was also one of the first songs that they made a reference to J.R.R. Tolkien and Lord of the Rings and Ramble On. So I thought that was an important turn of events for them. And then for number 4, well, let me also go back to the BBC Sessions and just say, you seem to always pick out live albums. You seem to like them more. I don't like live albums because for the most part, live albums are inferior. They're not, sometimes they're excellent. Sometimes you have a really good one, but most of the time I find that they're just not the same quality. I'd rather listen to the actual studio recording than the live album.
Okay.
Unless, let's say, I was at that concert, then I may be able to, enjoy it more.
Okay.
And then for my choice number 2, I picked Led Zeppelin 4. And of course, Stairway to Heaven. I mean, how could you not pick that album? That would be the most important song that everybody knows. And at the same time, this album is when Led Zeppelin really cashed in on the whole dark side black magic thing. I mean, because Jimmy Page ended up buying Aleister Crowley, the biggest, well, he wasn't really a Satanist, but he was more a black magic sort of guy. And he bought his house, and everybody totally freaked out when that happened. I mean, the religious right did, of course.
Yeah. All right, fine. So I think I already know where you're going with number 1. I'll let you first hear my number 2, which is Zeppelin 1, which I gotta believe is your number 1. So I'm pretty sure we know why. We both love it. It's excellent. It's the rawness. There's a 3-song run that they have, which is Your Time Is Gonna Come, Black Mountainside, Communication Breakdown, as good as anything they've done. So then, of course, my number 1 is the iconic Zepp 4. Not because of Stairway to Heaven, but because what I love the most on that album are the last 2 songs. I love Going to California, and I love When the Levee Breaks. I think they're timeless, Bob. I don't think they hit anything better in their career than those 2 songs on the end of the album. Bob, was I right? What's your number 1 Zepp album?
You are right. Led Zeppelin number 1. And the reason why is because it is, to me, the one that I enjoy listening to the most. It just seems to be timeless to me, because it not only is timeless, but when it came out at the exact point where Cream had broken up, and Cream was like, next to Jimi Hendrix, they were the biggest power trio.
Yeah.
And there was a vacuum there. And so now Led Zeppelin, I mean, it was a power trio plus 1. Yeah. And you end up having the filler, because the Grandee Ballroom, which was the local place in Detroit that all the bands played at, they had just had Cream on their last tour, and then now they had Led Zeppelin coming. And it was one of those things where it sold out before you even got a chance to get to the ticket store to get them if you want. But all of my friends were just freaking out about Led Zeppelin.
I get that, Bob. I think that's a really great way of describing Led Zeppelin. I'd never thought about that before, but that's 100% right. They were a power trio plus 1, which really helped to fill out the sound, I feel. So a lot of what we're saying, so if you look at our top 3, they're more or less the same. You swap 1 and 2, we've got the same top 3. I do want to go back to our number 4. I think that's what is the most interesting on our list. You took Physical Graffiti, right?
For 4?
Yeah.
No. Oh yeah. I'm sorry. Yes. Physical Graffiti.
It's confusing when one of the titles of their big album is number 4. But yes, you took Physical Graffiti. I took the BBC Sessions. In an album like Physical Graffiti, that's sort of experimental, I feel like it's not all that different from us in studio outtakes. But I think that's really our biggest difference.
Well, that's true. Because the reason why I like Physical Graffiti is for the extended songs, especially, In My Time of Dying, which is 11 minutes long. I like that. Like, I liked longer, the whole sides, like In a God of Aida on the Iron Butterfly. I enjoyed it when they would just jam on one song like that.
Well, Bob, I got to say, it's interesting as always talking with you. You always have stories. You always have knowledge that I don't know. Sometimes my lists are better than yours, like today. Sorry, Bob. But that's not what's important, Bob. What's important is what you guys think. Leave some comments. Once again, tell us why we're wrong. Tell us if we're right. But tonight, that's all we got. For Bob Gersztyn, I'm Willie Witten. This has been Bob vs. Willie. We'll see you next time.